I'm going to remind you, since we've been going over a lot of wrist rolls in the past couple of videos, that we started off with passes, right? We started with our shoulder passes, and we also did our back passes in those first couple of videos that we did from chapter 1. We're going to come back to passing a little bit, and we're going to do things a little bit differently than we've done before. So if you think back to video number 1, those were like sagittal plain passes, and we, first of all, we're always passing from a forward grip into another forward grip, right? And we were also always passing over the same side shoulder, right? Pass number 1, pass number 2, over same side shoulder. Pass number 3, yeah, forward spin, yeah, we beat underneath, but it's over the same side shoulder. Pass number 4, reverse spin, over same side shoulder, and 5 was just a combination of 3 and 4. So of course it was also over same side shoulder. Right, we're always coming over the top on the same side that we're holding the nunchucks. This time, I want to introduce you guys to under the same side shoulder pass. Instead of launching right into that and thinking you can do it without me, which maybe you can, you might hit yourself into the back of the head if you just jump right into it. So instead, I would caution you to start / opposite, same, opposite, same. Just like we did for horizontal wrist rolls before we got into them, right? Wrist roll, wrist roll. This time, just start slashing opposite, same, opposite, same. One time, when you come back, same, we're gonna beat under same side armpit. So I slash opposite, same, and then what my wrist is doing here is right, same, thumb is kind of pointed down, I roll over the top, forwards, and then I point back down and towards my butt. Okay, that's what the wrist is doing. With the nunchucks unfurled, opposite, same, roll and beat underneath the same side armpit. There's something very important about this beat, and that's that you come more or less straight down. You'll notice that my upper arm from shoulder to elbow basically makes a horizontal line. Opposite, same, beat, right? Horizontal line, here. Again, opposite, same, beat straight down. If we start hooking with the nunchucks, and here's a straight line, but we instead come from this angle, like this, instead of straight down, what's gonna happen is the free chuck is gonna come back this way, right? If I hook this way, the free chuck comes back in the direction that we came from, okay? It's important that you don't do that with this beat, because if you hook from that direction, if you hook from inside out as you're coming up to down with your initial swing, then the free chuck is gonna swing back and hit you in the back of the head, okay? So come more or less straight down. Now you might see the nunchuck flopping back towards my head a little bit, but it's not gonna be so far that it's gonna hit myself, okay? So again, slash opposite, same, beat straight down. Now, we're going to move on to the catch, but before we do, I wanna make sure that you're being consistent and aware of the way that you're beating under your armpit. So, some people don't have like the flexibility to do this all the way if you have like massive biceps or something. But as we beat, try to come far into yourself here instead of out here with your nunchuck holding wrist. That's, I don't know what's wrong with my English today, but anyway, right? So try not to slash and then have the hand holding the nunchucks be super far out in front of your body, okay? Because if you do that, this trick isn't really gonna work. Instead, bite far into your armpit with the chain, all right? I want you to try and get this stud, or if you don't have studs, if you have like cords or ball bearings or some other kind of nunchuck, try to get that as close to underneath your armpit as possible, okay? You don't have to be coming like all the way up and under your back here, because that'll do weird things with the nunchuck and give you a little bit too much reach. But anyway, slash opposite, same, and make sure that we're exposing the free chuck. This is a little bit weird from kneeling. I'm trying to dodge this knee on the opposite side slash, but anyway, make sure that you can see the chuck over your shoulder if you're looking in a mirror or something. From there, we're gonna grab it with this hand, right? Under same side shoulder, pass, okay? One important thing to keep in mind there is to use a thumbless grip, right? So instead of trying to grab like this here, which I kind of don't, I'm not even gonna do it. I don't feel like jamming my thumb today. But anyway, keep your thumb out of the picture, in and disciplined with the rest of your fingers, opposite, same, and catch over the shoulder. Now, I talked about biting, like coming far into your armpit. If you don't do that enough, you're gonna have to really reach over your shoulder because the free chuck is gonna be down here instead of up here. And like I just whacked myself in the back of the head saying not to do. All right, I'm gonna stand up now and get back to my usual position. Okay, but the more you bite, the more that free chuck is gonna come around and give you the surface area to grab. Otherwise, you have to reach all the way over your shoulder to grab it. Okay, so again, slash opposite same, under and catch in a thumbless grip. Now we can start slashing on the other side. So I let go with the bottom hand, continue holding with the top hand, slash same, opposite, and I can continue doing the same trick on the other side. So if you need to, especially if this is your non-dominant hand, start just with the beat and make sure you don't whack yourself in the back of the head. Okay? Also try not to be flinching away from the nunchucks too much. There is, I suppose, a happy medium with how far under your armpit you bite. If you bite too far, you allow this entire chuck with some chain to come over the top, and it has a higher chance of hitting you in the back of the head. Okay? So I guess there's a happy medium there. And this chain is also a little bit longer than normal, so our arm positions might look different if you're using a regular pair of nunchucks. Okay, so that is most of what I have to say about this trick. Let's see, some other things. Okay, one is timing. Since with the initial over-the-shoulder passes that we did, we kind of made contact with our shoulder, and then pretty immediately the new chuck came out from underneath and we could catch it. This time, since we're coming under our shoulder, gravity is working against us, right? So there's a little bit more of a delay from the time that this chain starts wrapping around our arm to the time when we can actually grab this. So that might throw you off at first, but I think you'll get used to the timing as you go. Start slashing and you develop a pretty consistent rhythm, and it'll be easier to learn the rest of the timing of the trick, okay? Another thing is how far down on the nunchucks your hands are. And that'll vary depending on who you are, depending on the length of the chain of your nunchucks, depending on a bunch of other things. But it might be easier to hold them slightly farther down than normal. Only I would caution you to do that slowly and without a ton of power because you're giving yourself a longer moment arm and you can do more damage to yourself, especially if you are already hitting yourself and not using padded nunchucks. Anyway, the other thing that I'm going to point out, this matters more so when you start connecting one of these passes into another, is how far down the nunchucks you're holding one chuck versus the other chuck. So if we take a look at my right hand, which again, I'm not mirroring this video. I don't actually know if I explained that at the beginning, but I'm not mirroring this video. With my right hand, I'm holding pretty much right at the end of the nunchuck. But when I pass to left hand, I'm actually a little bit more than halfway down. And if I do the same pass from this same hand position, I'm gonna come back right where I started, about, not exactly, with the right hand. And if I pass again with the right hand, I'll come back to about the same position with the left hand. The reason for that is because your shoulders are more or less a consistent diameter between your right and left sides. If you think about what's the mechanism of what's going on here, right? Initial hand is directly underneath the armpit. New hand is directly over the armpit. Whatever distance is in between them is roughly equivalent to the circumference of your shoulder, which is the same for your right and left shoulder. Right, so if my right hand's here and my left hand's here, that's just because all this space came from wrapping around my shoulder. My left shoulder is the same size, so when I pass back to the other side, from this hand to this hand, I'm still going to get this amount of space between my two hands. That might be annoying for some of you in that it's not a fully symmetrical trick. There's a way of correcting that. Take a look at this. So I'm gonna hold pretty much right on top of the chuck with my right hand, which means, again, I'm catching far down with my left hand. But let me show you something. I've caught, I'm far down. I continue the trick, and look at that. I'm farther down now on the right hand side. Or I start again here, same, opposite, same, catch, same, opposite, same, catch, same, opposite, same, catch. Now I'm pretty far up with the left hand. And the reason for that is I was inching my fingers up as I was slashing. So you can use the slash for more than one thing. And that's pretty much everything that I've got to say about the under same side tilted.